He's the firstborn of the Weasley Seven, has a cool facial scar, and married that beautiful French girl from the Goblet of Fire. William Arthur, better known as Bill Weasley, was the first child of Arthur and Molly Weasley, and the eldest brother of Charlie, Percy, Fred, George, Ron and Ginny. He attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from 1982 to 1989 and was both a prefect and head boy. Let's take a look at his story. This is the life of Bill Weasley. Bill was the first of 7 children born to Arthur and Molly. He was a child during the height of the First Wizarding War, in which his maternal uncles Fabian and Gideon Pruitt were killed fighting Antonin Dolohov and 4 other Death Eaters. While he was still a child, the Wizarding world also became peaceful once again, after Voldemort's first defeat in October 1981. Bill grew up in the borough on the outskirts of Ottery St. Catchpole in Devon, England. Like all his siblings, he was home educated in reading, writing and simple math by his mother. The Weasley family was not wealthy compared to other Wizarding families, although it can possibly be assumed that for the years that Bill was an only child, his parents may not have struggled until later years with the birth of more children. Many other pureblood families, particularly the Malfoys, disdained the Weasleys for their blood traitor, pro-Muggle beliefs and their lack of wealth. They tried their best to make up for this with their love and support, which really did stick with Bill, and it can also be assumed that he had a fairly happy childhood, as all the Weasley siblings did. Bill arrived at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry on September 1st, 1982. Among his fellow first years were, presumably if they attended Hogwarts, were the future Weird Sisters members Curly Duke and Myron Wagtail. Sorted into Gryffindor House, Bill quickly proved himself an academically strong and popular student. Apparently his best subject was Defense Against the Dark Arts. In the 1984-85 school year, Bill took the following as electives: Muggle Studies, Care of Magical Creatures, Divination, Arithmancy, and Study of Ancient Runes. It can be assumed that he achieved this through the use of a time turner, as some of the classes are in attendance at the same time, making him and Hermione Granger part of a select few students who were trusted with such a powerful object. By his 4th year, Bill had become very popular among the other students and was regarded by many as one of the bravest and most gifted students of his year. He became prefect in his 5th year and once again applied himself academically as he had previously and was well respected by his teachers. His mother Molly was very encouraging of his studies, as she expected all of her children to do well. This was shown with her frustration and anger when twins Fred and George received poor grades. Bill went on to achieve 12 L's that year. In his 7th year, he was made head boy, as was normally the case with one being chosen from the prefects of 5th year. At some point, Bill had a pen friend at Castelo Bruxo, the wizarding school in Brazil. When his pen friend wanted him to go on an exchange trip, Bill had to decline because his parents could not afford it. His pen friend, though, was greatly offended and sent him a cursed hat that made his ears shrivel up. After graduating from Hogwarts, Bill went to work for Gringotts Wizarding Bank as a curse breaker in Egypt. During the summer of 1993, the whole Weasley family went to Egypt on holiday after his father Arthur won 700 galleons in the annual Daily Prophet Grand Prize Galleon Draw. Bill took his family on a tour of the Egyptian tombs while they were there. In the summer of 1994, he returned home to the borough to attend the Quidditch World Cup with his family. During his stay, he met his youngest brother Ron's best friend, the infamous Harry Potter, for the very first time. When the Death Eaters decided to stir up trouble in the aftermath of the Irish victory, Bill assisted the Ministry of Magic. During the skirmish, he was injured with a deep cut on his arm. He later escorted his siblings, Harry and Hermione, to King's Cross Station the following September to see them all off to Hogwarts. 1 year later, in 1995, Bill took off more time from work to travel to Hogwarts with his mother to support Harry Potter during the third task of the Triwizard Tournament. It was during this time that he met Fleur Delacour, who was attracted to him from the start. Following the death of Cedric Diggory and the revelation that Lord Voldemort had returned to power, Bill immediately set out to inform his father of the news and that Albus Dumbledore would be contacting him. He joined the Order of the Phoenix and applied for a desk job in England so he could help the Order more effectively. Although he missed the tombs in Egypt, he did have one compensation. Fleur Delacour had taken a part-time job at Gringotts to improve her English, and as a result from her working there, the two began dating. Bill was often involved in planning sessions and would often speculate where the goblins' loyalties truly lay. During the Christmas of 1995, Bill visited his father at St. Mungo's Hospital for magical maladies and injuries several times after he had been attacked by Nagini. With the wizarding world soon to be aware of Lord Voldemort's return in the wake of the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, Bill asked Fleur to marry him after they had been dating for a year. In the summer of 1996, Fleur stayed at the Burrow for several weeks to get to know Bill's family. However, her blunt nature rubbed Mrs. Weasley and Bill's sister Ginny the wrong way, and they both thought Bill could do better than Fleur. 1 year later, in June 1997, Bill was one of the Order members tasked by Dumbledore to patrol Hogwarts during his absence when he and Harry went to search for one of Lord Voldemort's Horcruxes. That night, Death Eaters broke into the school with the help of Draco Malfoy, and during the battle that ensued, Bill was badly injured by the werewolf Fenrir Greyback. His face was slashed and ripped, and because of the nature of his attacker, the wounds were cursed. Although Greyback was not transformed at the time, the wounds were still contaminated. Bill did not become a werewolf, but did develop a liking for very rare steaks. Strangely, it was his injuries that finally convinced his mother that Fleur Delacour was the right choice for him. Mrs. Weasley thought their union was based on physical attraction only, but Fleur showed her that she loved Bill no matter what he looked like, and the two women reconciled over his hospital bed. A few days later, he attended Dumbledore's funeral along with his family. 1 month later, in July 1997, Bill was one of the members of the Order of the Phoenix who assisted in transporting Harry Potter to safety before the protective charm that kept him safe at the Dursleys was broken. Part of the plan involved Fleur disguising herself as Harry, and the two left for Privet Drive on a Thestral. During the Battle of the Seven Potters, Bill witnessed Alistair Mad-Eye Moody's death at the hands of Lord Voldemort, and they were chased by a dozen Death Eaters, but managed to escape unharmed. He later volunteered to assist Remus Lupin in the search for Moody's body in order to give him a proper burial, but sadly they could find no trace of it. Bill and Fleur were married 1 month later on August 1st, 1997. Their reception, however, was disrupted by Death Eaters, who were able to break the protective spells around the Burrow after a successful yet unlawful takeover of the Ministry of Magic, resulting in the death of Rufus Scrimgeour. Although they were questioned, the attendees were all free to go. Bill returns to work, and he and Fleur moved into their own place, Shell Cottage. Later in the year, Bill's brother Ron came to stay with them after abandoning Harry and Hermione during their Horcrux hunt. Although disappointed in his brother for his previous actions, he could see just how sorry Ron was, and did not let on to the rest of the family that Ron was at the cottage. After Harry, Ron and Hermione escaped from Malfoy Manor with several other prisoners, they took refuge at Shell Cottage. Bill took them in and allowed Harry to bury the remains of Dobby the Elf in his garden. Realising that the enemy was aware that the Weasleys were supporting Harry openly, Bill and his father Arthur took the family into hiding using the Fidelis charm. As a result, Bill had to give up work and he became the secret keeper of Shell Cottage. In the following weeks, he played host to the escapees and realised that Harry was planning something with Griphook the Goblin. Although not privy to the details, he did counsel Harry on the way goblins perceived things and warned him about them. Shortly after Harry, Ron, Hermione and Griphook left, Bill was alerted to Neville Longbottom's call to arms at Hogwarts, either through the Order of the Phoenix or the two members of Dumbledore's army that were staying with him, Luna and Dean. Either way, he and Fleur apparated to the Hog's Head and travelled to the Room of Requirement. Bill fought in the Battle of Hogwarts and survived, but the victory was tarnished by the death of his brother Fred. Following the war, Bill and Fleur had 3 children, Victoire, Dominique, and Louis Weasley. Victoire was born on the anniversary of the Battle of Hogwarts, thus her name, which means victory in French. She also seemed to have inherited her mother's good looks, as she was noted to be absolutely beautiful. Victoire also seemed to have a great relationship with Teddy Lupin, though it is unclear if the two began dating or not. As of 2013, Bill was still employed as a cursebreaker for Gringotts and had returned to his work in Egypt. In 2014, Bill spent his 44th birthday with his wife and the rest of his family. And that is all for today's video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I encourage you to please subscribe and share my videos if you like my content, because without your help the channel cannot grow. And with that being said, making videos on a regular basis does cost time, money, and a serious amount of effort. However, I absolutely love making videos. It's my dream and it's my passion. So if you'd like to contribute to helping the channel to grow for just $1 a month minimum through Patreon, it truly helps, and it means that I can put fewer ads in my videos as my Patreon grows. You don't have to donate. This is just on the kindness of your heart. The link is in the description below, and please make sure to check out my other videos that will appear on screen and my merchandise link below too. I also have a second channel called Game of Thrones Lore that will have regular content uploaded on it very soon. Thanks again for watching, everyone. It means the world to me, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.